I haven't made another one of these for about a month. Don't worry, I just I just got hit hard with some art block for this project. So with that, I also want to try to redefine what this series is supposed to be for me. Originally, I wanted to make this as a decent enough quality as I can manage, while also learning Blender along the way. Instead, I want to make this more so the bare minimum I need to tell a story, or just a piece of it, with the rest being left to interpretation. Reason for this, I don't want to spend years on this project. It's just supposed to be proof that I can make something, even when I'm alone. So, imagine what I would be able to do if I had a team for this kind of stuff. Now, this is to say I didn't do nothing with this time. I quickly whipped up some firearms for the veteran, a sidearm and a primary, sketched them out alongside with some designs for his armor and how he looks, and a new sketchbook I got for specifically just jotting out a bunch of ideas, filling up entire pages. It's very easy to tell, but he's got lots of inspiration from Jetstream Sam. Yeah. I mainly just like that dangling strand of hair. I always wanted to get better with hair modeling, and that's always stuck. I've also got some names for these characters finally. So now I get to finally introduce these characters. The veteran is known as Curtis Nullfield. People just call him Kurt. I wanted a name that was able to hit that tongue hard and feel strong. And something that ends with is. And last name ending with field, and that's what I came up with first. Hank, the giant, was the next one. I named a name that's just supposed to be a single syllable, very simple as the character. It was either between Hank or Hugh, but how I voiced the character, Hugh, would just sound very awkward to speak out. The Tinker's title is getting changed to Gun Nut. Funnily enough, this is the second time that's happened. At first it was Expert, didn't like that, so I changed it to Tinker, and I didn't like Tinker, and now it's Gun Nut. Mainly because I think that title best describes this character, what he's able to. Tinker made it sound like he was able to do so much more. But anyways, his name is Benjamin Price. Normally I just call him Benny. I wanted something that's supposed to be a simple, average day name for the first name, and adding that little E part at the end, Benny, just makes him seem a bit smaller as a character, given this like childish nickname, I guess, to make him feel lesser. And this is supposed to be tying into that story arc of his. Finally, the Machinist. I don't like that title, but it has to do for now. I can't think of anything right now. But anyways, her name is Aurora Versace. Something that feels above you and is and that's what I went for the name. Then with the last name being just something Italian, and somehow just fits really nice. Hope these names are simple and likable enough. I've never been good at naming characters for my story concepts, and this is the first time I've been doing normal names. For the most part, I just slap in a name that supposedly means something, and then slap a Greek god name as the last name. Yeah. Originally, I was going to go into detail about how this whole infection in the series works. I had this whole thing written out, was going to word it out, say it, show it off, but I won't. I just won't. I want to keep this hidden because I want to test myself to see if I can actually get the audience to guess how it works with the context clues from the background, from how the characters talk about the infection, what it works, what it does to those who are infected, without outright saying it. There is a full way of how it works. maybe not at all realistic, but there's a way that it works in this. Finally, there was a couple title ideas, because, just calling it my work in progress story concept, it's not gonna cut it. Right now I have 2 different ideas, so really it's a flip a coin right now for which one I like more. First idea is just calling it Not So Below, going off of As Above, So Below, as the infection in the story's world is purely infecting an underground city. And soldiers are holding it off, making sure nobody gets in, nobody gets out, kind of situation. Simple as. The other is the ones that live. Honestly, like the first idea more, but this was just something to throw against the wall, as the difference between living and surviving plays as a core theme throughout the story. I really don't know which one I like more, so just putting them out here for now, to show the weirder part when I don't know what to do. I also just recently thought up of a new idea for how to show the city, or at least describe the city. There's a centerpiece, a very simple centerpiece that originally was just going to be a really cool thing to look at, but now I don't know how possible I can make it be visible constantly, at least from the base that the cast reside in. But I like the idea of just this big old giant tower that's supposed to be the central point of commerce, business meetings, those people that come from the surface going down into this below underground city, and none of these other buildings connecting to it besides itself. As for the other buildings that surround it, it's just supposed to be whack, like as if it was just thrown together. This near useless project just kind of thrown together, just like the series kind of is is kind of going. But I like the idea of it just kind of somehow interweaving between itself, like a jumble of puzzle pieces that are, although put together just right, but individually shrunken so they fit, but there's space in between the pieces. But that's what I'm liking right now. And each major section will be split up between districts, and between those districts will be, oh hey, this is the industrial area for people's jobs and whatnot. Here's a little area for people to shop around. This is living space, living quarters and whatnot. And it's to a point that you never have to leave these districts, ever. You never have to go to the floor. So for the infection, most of it really is just on the ground level, and slowly seeping higher and higher, but never really going above halfway. So the people at the top, until they run out of resources, they're completely fine. This was the last thing that I really figured out, while editing this. But anyways, continuing to what else I said. But that's all I really got. I wanted to do so much more with this episode, taking my time with it, of course, but I got hit hard with this art block. So I'm just kind of sitting dead in my tracks right now, thinking about what to do next. But I'm giving myself realistic goals. I wanted to really put in a bunch of quality, getting better. But if I'm doing that, then I have to step back and make those things earlier better. So like, I'm making fingers on these characters, then I would have to go back to Giant's model and actually give him fingers, or I go over to this model. Okay, I got to change it up so that it's going to be one large figure rather than multiple tiny pieces. I'm just not going to be putting that pressure onto me. But eventually, I know I will get inspired. I know I will get inspired by something. It always happens. Honestly, I rewatched Dead Runners, which might actually bring me into replaying Cyberpunk as a whole. And I feel like that should get a ball rolling, at least for the design of the world. That I wasn't able to do. I couldn't really think of much on what to really sketch down. But eventually, something's gonna hit, and I will know exactly what I'm gonna do for months on end. And finally, I just want to end this off. This is not a throwaway project. It's more than a project for me. It's proof to me that I can achieve something, that I can make something worthy. even if it's just on my own with a couple people that I know who can do some voice acting for me. Proof that I can make it, that I can make something. There's a lot of ideas that I have. This is something that, I was mainly just making as a beginning piece. Something that was supposed to look simplistic and be at my skill level for making, or for modeling and whatnot. And as I'm making it, I'm leveling up. I'm leveling up quite a bit. I'm very proud of what I've been able to do. Now, I may not have a bunch of footage to really show besides, I don't know, COD gameplay, because I've been playing Black Ops 6 a lot recently, doing camo guys and whatnot and zombies. But I want to get more time into this story. It's just I don't know when to fit it. But I know I want this made. I don't really know how much of a complete story I want to give. I don't know how many pieces of story I want to give until I don't. Maybe someday in the future I come back to it and really make it full-fledged. I feel like episodes really shouldn't be as long as 10 minutes. It's really just going to be a quick, very moving forward as much as possible. The longest episode is probably going to be the intro, going to be the pilot, or whatever you want to call it. I want to call it episode 1. Calling it a pilot sounds stupid, but you get the idea. This is more than a project. This is more than a beginning. This is proof. Proof of me. I don't know how else to end it off on that, but yeah. But bye now.